Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our live Q&A coming to you every Tuesday on Ashella Yardley's YouTube channel. I'm Ashella here with my lovely daughter, Crystal, and welcome to so many familiar faces, Leo and Ricky and Taro by Lupo. Hi, guys.
Is there as well. Hello.
How's everyone doing today? How are you feeling?
How is everyone? Just watch. Okay. Y'all are having a good little chin wag. Love it.
We're ready for your questions. Have the cards cleared out? In fact, I'm going to clear the cards again. Let's do that.
While we're hanging out?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Leo has a first question. What's the law of fellowship?
I don't know anything about that.
I also don't.
You got me.
So we're going to look at it.
Sure.
And we'll tell you what the law of fellowship is.
Or maybe what do we need to know about it? I don't even know what it is. So maybe you could give us a little bit more description.
Leo. And then we have one from Christian as well. How does our own personal question? Okay, cool. Beautiful.
Yeah, they look like they go together, kind of.
Yep. Leo, if you would explain to us a little bit about what this fellowship is that we're asking about, or is it just fellowship of all beings?
Aww, Ricky says he's feeling wonderful.
Wonderful.
Love to all.
Yay, yeah.
So I'm going to start shuffling now.
Yep. And then we'll get into with this chat here.
Energy of the law of fellowship.
You know what? I will put it on. And while we're here chatting, a reminder of my sale.
Sure.
That's happening.
You can tell us all about that,
The
Crystal.
discount is below. And I am offering 20% off of all of my services until August 15th. Lots of beautiful bookings coming in. It's so nice to see and so nice to connect and have more conversations outside of just our lives and get to know everyone. So lovely. So yes, using coupon code farewell20 at the checkout, you receive 20% off. Beautiful. Welcome, Janice and Linda. Hello. Hello. Guinness Girl.
Oh, Guinness Girl says you have the
same birthday.
Oh, no, that's not Crystal. That's the other one.
That's my
Guinness
sister.
Girl. That is my other daughter that has the March 20th birthday. Yeah. Crystal's is.
I'm January 1st.
She's a New Year's baby.
Yeah. We've got Mama had a first of the year and first day of spring, which is so, beautiful.
Definitely.
Okay, here we go.
So
I'm going to shuffle on the fellowship as well.
Yeah, you shuffle on the fellowship as well. Just tuning in with comments.
Yeah.
We're feeling pretty excited today. We are heading off on a little mini vacation road trip, going to a festival that I go to regularly over the years. Many times I've gone there, and I've actually performed there lots too. And that's in the interior of British Columbia, and Crystal and I are both going to be performing. We got a last minute invitation because the people that I normally perform with aren't doing that festival this year, and so but some other group invited me, so yahoo! So this is dance and yeah, super fun. Okay. I've been performing and teaching Middle Eastern dance for a heck of a long time, almost 30 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even longer than you've been doing tarot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was your first gypsy adventure. Gypsy career.
Okay, I think this one in the middle here. All right.
I'll make it bigger and let's dive in, y'all.
So
what do I need to know?
Maybe three. Let's do three cards. Yeah. Maybe where we are, where we're going, how we're getting there.
Okay.
With this law of fellowship.
Here we go.
where we are.
It involves sharing, not just material things, but also experiences, spiritual insights, and mutual support. Thank you, Leo. So this
Ooh.
is the fellowship we're talking about.
And I like that. I want to look that up and learn more about it. There's two other words that align well with that. One is contributionism, and the other one is the Ubuntu movement, which is a South African, it's a South African movement and philosophy that is a lot about sharing. So this is really exciting to me.
Yes, and greetings, Tracy from.
Okay, whoa.
Linda from Indiana.
So this is curious. What a great way to start us off. So where we are is we are inspired, right? We're all going, yeah, let's try something new. The Ace of Wands, a new beginning, a spark, a catalyst, something new.
And really moving in a new direction here.
Where we're going is we're going to really batten down the hatches and head purposefully in this direction. It's kind of like tuning everything else out, because the Chariot is very much about your inner resolve is what creates the movement of that Chariot. It's not something outside of you that forces it to move. It's kind of like pure willpower and motivation. And it's a number 7, which is a spiritual number. So it is our spiritual ethics are putting us in the driver's seat, because it's a vehicle to go in this new direction and go fearlessly in that new direction. Now, how are we getting there, Crystal?
On a bumpy road.
Or a wild road.
Yeah, it definitely feels like busting through a lot of the like compression or static or like chaotic sort of feelings that we get when we're transitioning, like transitioning into something new. When you have a lot of different aspects of your reality going through transition, like it really depends on what we do with our energy during that time and how we navigate through that, right? So yeah. I feel like I'm being pushed to this. I'm like, come here. Okay, so that's what I was essentially saying about that. What are you saying about that?
Crystal's rocking the house.
Yes, I am.
We are moving things to move forward. We got to bust some stuff out of the way, right? We got to literally move and shake a bit. And, this to me also feels like all the stuff we're entangled in, the old system around money, around security, around ego, like hold on to what you've got, don't share, right? Because there might not be enough. So we know practices like tithing actually heal the nervous system around that sense of scarcity. When we feel that we have something to share, we move out beyond scarcity, but we have to go through our own almost like static field of resistance, right? It's like, but no, I better hold on to that. And
really noticing what it does in our bodies and in our systems when we are either forced or considering to really be needing to do something different. It's really interesting too, because it's also to me about the ability to be in honorable receivership, because I know a lot of people also have a hard time with receiving things or receiving help, and there needs to be this understanding of how to have a fair exchange, and that if there's not some sort of like an immediate physical tangible exchange in the moment, like that can leave us feeling confused about how to really take that, like you owe somebody something,
or bitter, like that we feel resentful that we gave out all this energy and we didn't get anything back, so
or vice versa. But I'm saying, in terms of like
Oh, right.
the giving, the, what we're doing with the exchanging of things, right? Um, Sharing, right? Not just material experiences, just all of that kind of stuff. There's also in order to share really open-heartedly, we also need to be able to be in receivership really open-heartedly. And a lot of people are like, can't receive help, can't receive tangible things, or have a hard time even receiving other people's insights because it activates them in a certain way. So we're really kind of doing this dance of learning how to give and receive at the same time. And just speaking to that because of the receivership that I've been in, and noticing how beautiful it can be to the people that are giving offerings in one way or another, when you are in such like honorable receivership of that. And then the excitement of, how can I pay this forward now? I'm so looking forward to the times where I get to be the offer of, right? So it's like, ooh, it's exciting. It might not even go back to that person in the way that they, the amount or whatever that they gave to you, but imagine how it could go to somebody else. And then it's like really feeding the whole, the holy.
Yeah, beautiful, right? Beautiful. There was something I was going to say about this now, and I forget. It was something to do with knowing ourselves. This is a card that has to do with our sovereignty as well. And sharing experiences, spiritual insights, mutual support. So that is another beautiful concept, is something called mutual aid, which is, interestingly, it's the next level of what I would say. We got this combat going on between capitalism and socialism. And contributionism, sharing, this whole idea of like a fellowship system, is the next wave of that. And it's actually about, like Crystal's saying, about paying things into a larger collective pot, but not in a socialist way, because the socialist system is basically still a power dominant, centralized authority model. Someone else determines how much you get and how much you give. Whereas, we're looking at something, we want to grow into something a lot more organic than that. So there's going to be growing pains here. This is going to be a journey for all of us where, we're going to need to experiment a little bit too, right? You're going to go into unknown territory and maybe get, sort of caught up a little bit. But the whole thing is a spiritual journey. And even, I think, getting out of the grid of the finances and the economic systems that we have available to us right now, like getting off grid a little bit from those. And just, this feels also like breakout movements of, the whole cryptocurrency world is a breakout movement from the economic grid that has been holding us for a really long time. So this is cool, Leo.
Way cool. And Leo also says, give a hug, it's free. And that's so true. I was at an event this weekend with a lot of people, and I swear that the hugs are getting better. There's something about it where you can tell that people are like really beginning to come into a next level in themselves. And when that level of people and beings that have been through so much, we've been through so much together, when we come together and we give hugs to even people we've just met or something like that, it's like there's a new depth to it that I'm not entirely sure was completely there before. Yeah. It seems like it's shifted even that much more. So that's beautiful. I love that. And Christiane says that the 1,000th monkey effect is changing our collective reality.
Yeah. And even though we see so much mess going on in the political arena and the economic arena and so on, I actually feel it's a tribute to the healing and the evolution that we're doing. Things will get a little worse before they get better, just like a healing crisis. But remember that we are already seeing so much evidence of faster and faster recovery, more and more renewal. So we're seeing that in our own community. And if we are, as Christian says, if we are those 1,000th monkeys, this is very encouraging. This is very encouraging.
Oh, Tara Lupo says I got to hug Janine at Manchester, UK a few years ago. Wonderful.
Aw.
Janine gives great hugs.
So
the communication course.
Yeah, what's the name of the communication course I recommended a while ago? Good question, Tracy. It's called Nonviolent Communication Skills Training. Now, if you all go to the website link where you can subscribe to the email newsletter, well, if you message me there, it's also, there's links there. I should just put them right up on the webpage because
Probably.
I don't get any affiliate, but I should. I should get some affiliate marketing. Yeah, we should, because I recommend them, and they're it's at the bottom of my email. It's not a them, it's a whole system. There's lots of people that teach it around the world, and it's been around since the 70s. It's pretty tried and true. So anyway, nonviolent communication skills training is what it's called. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Let's go to our next question.
Let's do it. Thank you, Leo. What a great place to start us off here. Yeah. We have one from Christian. Here we go. How does our own personal creation of our own reality affect the human creation of the collective reality as a whole?
Ooh,
great.
Oh, what a great question.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever looked at that question before, and I find that fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, I've thought about it. I don't think I've ever done cards on it.
Definitely. I feel like it is something that we do think about.
Yeah, that's lovely. And you know, it's interesting how this is a lot of what motivates us to do things like share and come into alignment with systems like Ubuntu and contributionism. It's not because we're going to get something from it. It's not because, you know, we're going to like get rich or be loved or whatever. I mean, we could flourish and become more abundant, and we could feel more connected and have better connections and loving relationships as a result of that, or in tandem with that. But we're not doing it for that reason. We're actually doing it because it is the right thing to do and it feels good, right? It's like when you give a gift and you know you're not going to get anything back, but you love to do it because you know you're adding to the pot of creation, right? The abundance in the world. So how does our creation of our own reality affect the human collective reality as a whole? Shall I separate?
Please.
And you pick which one? Great. Take the middle path, Crystal.
Okie dokie.
I'm actually, I think, going to lay it out like a question.
Yeah, let's do that.
Here we are, just going along our merry way. Dun, 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 dun. And then, how does our creation of our own reality affect the collective as a whole? This is interesting. This is about like kind of taking time away. So I feel like my first instinct with what I'm seeing here is that we could do a lot better with this. We could actually affect the collective reality if we were more present in our own reality.
Yeah.
So the first step is to like get more presence happening, because this is a presencing card. Let's look at the past. Well, we care. We want to. That's great, right? This is having like the inspiration or the motivation, wanting to start going
Yeah, it
about
certainly
this
lights us up
differently.
to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of what this is the subconscious. So about 80% of our efforts are still untapped because we're it's unconscious. We're in the unconscious, right? This is a
Mm.
subconscious or between the worlds card, and then this is a so for example, if we knew more about our own inner motivations, had a greater sense of presence in ourselves and the future that we were working on building, we would have a lot more impact. But because a lot of it is running still unconsciously, it doesn't have the same intentional impact. What do you feel, Crystal?
I feel like we've been stifled from understanding the true impact that each of our realities has on the collective, because we've been really kind of blinders on the wheel, and in a lot of black and white thinking between, like, there's all of this, the black and white thinking has put us in sort of this box of structured reality, and that is like the separate reality where it's like everyone to themselves, and you just get like consumed by your life and miss out on all that's happening subconsciously because we're not taking the time to really presence and tune in. Although we'll see what comes next, but we are really waking up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's that new start. Like, so, every time we send something, it's almost like a psychic email to the universe to say, oh, I'm getting clear about this. And, like I wrote my manifesto a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. I wrote a lot about my personal dreams and then about my dreams for the collective. And even though I, say, oh yeah, I've got all this, these ideas of how I want to support healing and growth and education around new paradigms and stuff, I haven't actually sat down and taken the time up until recently to write out what my version of the future could look like. And so again, we're sort of unconsciously running a lot of things, but haven't stepped into. So I guess the answer, Christian, to your question, our personal creation of our own reality, conscious creation, and intentional, where are we going with it?
No, how does the personal creation affect the reality as a whole?
This is what I mean. Like if it's conscious and we have clear sort of intentions around what we're doing, we can lift up the whole. But a lot of it is running on sort of automatic pilot. And it's interesting with this 8 of Cups because it reminds me of what the esoteric mystics call the 8th sphere. And that is the Maya illusion sphere that we've been for about 8,000 years. We've been experimenting in. And so to break out of that and have a lot more, literally, we can change reality. We can really have a huge influence, but it has to come from the heart. It can't come from the will or the ego.
Yeah.
Right?
2 pages.
Yeah, 2 pages. So what do you make of that?
So, I mean, I feel like we are coming to the end of, we know that we've been in the Kali Yuga cycle, right? We are coming to an end of a lot of the weightiness of our energetic bodies. And I feel like that is going to be calling in actually this new sort of tweaked, up-leveled consciousness and way of presencing through our thoughts, our communications, our words, and that there's something like it's a very new beginning feeling. I feel like we're entering something that we've never experienced before here, you know? And so how could we really know how it is affecting the whole, other than it looks like the future is good in that way, and that we're leaving a lot of the weightiness of our physical and energetic bodies, which is exciting to see. What do you make of it?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at
Let's
Christian's
follow up.
next. If we didn't understand that we can change our reality, we would have gone into the apocalypse timeline, and that was part of the forceful spread of Christianity. Absolutely. You know, this is what I've been saying too, is that I feel like we don't want to rest on our laurels, but we really can see that obviously humanity is upgrading, and this is falling away. And we can, grab the new energy that's coming. So a lot of people will take quite a long time to complete this, but we're sort of, a lot of us are pioneers that are going to be jumping on. So I just wanted to say, changing the timeline, the apocalypse timeline. Let's have a look at that. Oh yeah. So this new avatar, the beta babies can come in. I've talked about them before.
I've been seeing that so much too.
Oh, wow. Okay. And a new relationship to power and to patriarchy.
Yeah.
So like order, and I do feel that in a way, the patriarchal energy, the order, the laws and the systems, I feel are going to be designed and worked with men and women alike, but more women during this transitional phase.
That's what this felt like to me.
Yeah. To sort of reassess and start out, like build a new foundation for the future.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, the matriarchy. It really felt like that. Yeah, the new leadership, it will come through. This really felt like that coming into the feminine energy and the feminine way will help us to access a lot of that subconscious more. And when we go into our journeys, our vision quests, into our journeys with presencing and the holy wild, we really enter that with our masculine awareness to keep us safe and our ego to keep us safe, but so much more of, for all of us, that feminine, open, intuitive receivership energy. And I think that that's really going to have a beautiful effect on the whole. And then from that place, we go into balanced power.
And it's important, right? Like that we keep our eye on things. This, you see how this page is looking over here, just to keep an eye on everything. And there will be a lot of readjusting our approach and our strategy, lots of communication. And interestingly, talking about that nonviolent communication, I really recommend everyone looking into it. It's not just about communicating in relationships. It's about communicating inside yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can speak in any situation. You can speak, like even in positions of like policy making, or, group dynamics. If you're involved in politics or whatever, like you can use those skills anywhere. And they basically, they just nullify any energy of combativeness, because of the way you're speaking, the way the language is formed, the way that you are referring to things. So you get your point across, but it doesn't come across in a confrontational way. And it's magic.
So lastly, Christian says it's been truly an information war in order to control our power to create our future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
look at that. Oh,
yeah. See, there it is, the balance of the masculine and the feminine, right?
and
Like
look at this, 9 of cups and 10 of cups.
So good.
So like, our hearts, our emotional, relational selves know what's missing. Look at this, because this guy, you remember this guy over here? He's going to look for what's missing. You see how there's that missing
and look,
hole?
he finds it. Bump, bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there's the, we've got
8,
an
9,
8,
10.
9, 10 of cups.
Yeah.
See, he finds that missing cup. He's going on a quest. So we are, how we, you would think from the way the cards have lined up here with all these cups.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Is that our best way to influence the collective in a positive way is through emotional healing and emotional work, and weaving that in with communication skills. And that's going to really take us far.
And it's already happening.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It is.
We feel it, we see it, we know it all the time, we practice it. It's coming in big time.
It is.
Thank you for your questions. Here we go, carrying on.
May it be so.
So may it be. Okay. Give me a moment, you guys. I'm just gonna yeah. Hello, Shella and Crystal. Nice to catch you live from the UK. Hi, Valerie. Welcome. I think just making sure.
Yeah.
I think so too. I was just making sure. So we're going to go down to these next couple that are happening. Here we go. Good, good. Feels like mass consciousness more interested in the story of Mary Magdalene. Is the truth of her and Jesus' story
Eminent. Is that going to be coming to the surface? Another version of that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, here, you shuffle that too.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something to say, Mom?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot to say,
Yeah.
but I don't, I'm very open. I've learned a lot and read lots of, I've got some Magdalene books up there, the Magdalene manuscripts.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've read and studied a bit on this many years ago, more so. And I feel like it's a very big mystery, and I'm so curious. Like, it hasn't been in my immediate recent ontology, but I'm super open to seeing. I'm very curious what the cards want to say about that.
Me too. All right. Did you shuffle?
I did.
Okay.
So do you want to divide it into 3?
Yeah.
And then I will pick the. Yeah, and I'm going to go with the middle one again too. So, is the truth. Here we are over here. Suddenly a big shift. Something is about to be revealed. Is the truth going to come out? Interesting again, we are longing for something.
Yeah, right.
We're longing for, it's sort of like we've been in a spiritual crisis, yes, but even more so a love crisis. We've been in an emotional crisis. We're longing to know that the people found love, that love is relevant, because you don't really hear it talked about very much. Sacred love. It's very sort of, and then that's sort of like an add-on to life. Like, and if you're lucky, you might find that. But it being at the center of our evolutionary upgrade, that's different, right? So we're longing, everybody is longing for a much deeper, more spiritual love story to emerge. And it feels like it's kind of like our longing is drawing it to the surface. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's coming out. So we're going to see another big influx. There was, there was the what was that? The Da Vinci Code that talked about, the Magdalene bloodlines and so on. And so we're going to see another influx where people are very interested on, in Mary Magdalene, and Jesus' line being, moved through France and maybe ending up in the UK and so on. Those stories, there's going to be more of that coming out again. We almost have, because it's been, gosh, it's got to be 20 years since the Da Vinci Code came out. So we're about ready for another big wave of this storyline. Yeah.
Might cause a bit of a
well, it's
rumbling.
also, I feel like, there's something about the way that the wars in the Middle East are happening, or that there's a stirring of all that war energy. It's
Yeah.
like everyone wants to, just put the swords down, right? Like, this is interesting. The swords are down. They're actually, the story with this card, Six of Swords, is that the boat was leaky and they stuck the swords in so that they could get across this troubled water to get to safe land in the distance. So it's like swords can be useful for plugging the boat, apparently. And that's the communication card too, interestingly enough. So you could say in a way that this card has to do with burying the sword of violence or aggression and moving it. Six is cooperation. So we're back to talking about sharing and reciprocity, like the beginning of this live. So the longing for a deeper, more meaningful connection of love and to put down the warring swords is going, what people want to go back and recover lost stories. And I think it will be more than just this lost story. There will be other lost stories. Whoa.
Oh, we could be really discovering how much of potential not hoax.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of versions, and some of them are beautiful and some of them are just meant to confuse us.
Yeah.
So it's going to go kind of sort of a bit viral, I want to say, and some of it is going to be some of it will throw people off track. So I feel like there's going to be some planted information that goes out that will throw some people off track. So, when that happens, I always say, go back to source, right? Go back further, look at earlier writing. If new stuff is coming out that's taking us down different rabbit holes, and it gets confusing, because if you were trying to keep this down and you knew you couldn't stop it, right? You knew that information was coming out on the web and getting more into people's consciousness, and you wanted to prevent them from really going deeper into this, to the deeper meaning of what this is. Wouldn't you try to throw a wrench in it and confuse people by making all these different versions of the same story and mixing them all up? Sometimes you just got to think like the bad guys, right? And go, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. So if it feels distorted or confusing or yucky to you, if your gut feeling is like, no, I don't like that, that's okay. Just leave it for a bit. Oh, wow, right? Yeah, so it opens a lot of cans of worms too. These are also like cans of worms.
That's what I was feeling about it. I was like, we may really uncover that some of the ways we thought things went down, or some of what we felt was truth for so long, was a bit more of an illusion that we were being sold on.
Well, and also the problem is that once you start uncovering this stuff, like, say, for example, the whole Christian storyline, right, with Christ and Mary Magdalene, you get the situation where if this is true, like, if now you learn that this thing was not true, then that means this wasn't true. This wasn't true. This wasn't true. This wasn't
And
true.
I mean,
This
this is what,
and it's the ricochet. It's like the dominoes start
Yeah.
falling, right? And that was very distressing because people have built their whole realities on these belief systems.
but we're
And
really understanding the way that a lot of that is working right now because of the, in the world that we're living in, we're dealing with that all the time. We in seeing the behind the scenes and seeing all the shows that we've been, led to believe were truth. Like, so us as people that have awarenesses of that there's all of these different possibilities of reality, and that a lot of what we're programmed to believe is true, is inviting us to look deeper, to go further back, to have bigger conversations, to analyze, to research in the ways that we can. Seems like it is opening up something for us.
So to your question, it does look like over the next 2 years, there will be a lot more focus on this and bringing out the truth.
Suzanne says there is already. So been a lot of videos lately on Mary Magdalene, Sophia, and others. Many saying they are from the dragon lineage in a good feminine sense.
And again, it feels to me curious that I know a lot about this, but I'm very, it's one of the areas in life where I'm very hesitant to form an opinion. Yeah. And Crystal can tell you that's, usually I can at least sort of grapple with an opinion on things and go, yeah, I have a feeling this or this. It doesn't mean that I don't have kind of senses of things, but I think my feeling is that it's important not to attach to any of those things yet. And I don't know why I feel that way, but I just feel that way. I feel like this is, a dear friend of mine who was an esoteric mystic, on his deathbed, what he spoke about. And he was actually a Jewish man, and he spoke about Mary Magdalene as one of the last things he said before he crossed, as kind of a message. And so, that was a reminder to me that, yeah, this is going to be a really big rock the world open eventually, but we want to be very delicate with how we do this, because it could go, that thing, like a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And I mean, it takes us back to sort of the Garden of Eden stories and the serpent, and, let's go slow, because this is so potent that we could easily get roped in a lot of different directions with it. So,
yeah. Christian says this matches Cliff High's predictions that Christianity will be the only religion left, but it will change based on the information that will come out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it certainly. That's interesting. I find that interesting, and it makes me feel open to also seeing just how much work we have to do to get to that point, to take this in a new direction. Because so with miles to go, I'm sure that it can happen, and we can and likely will do that at some point. Maybe not in our lifetime, though.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, because we are on that information train of gathering, and like our heart wants us to find all of these truths that feel like we can really resonate with them and feel good about them. And yet we also have to really honor timelines and take our time. Like this is history. This is history we're talking about, right? So it's like we need to allow ourselves to not need to have our egos want to figure it all out right now. Our hearts are open and wanting to explore all of these different possibilities without attaching to any of it being the way.
Yeah. And
Right.
interesting, right? He's the most mature card in the tarot. So maturity,
Like,
deep maturity.
allow those knowings to come in and broaden your perspective, broaden your view, and then don't make any decisions. Just continue to observe. Be in observation, be in discernment. Take that in and don't have an immediate, oh, this is it with it.
And it's very exciting because we're going to see, the revelations, right? Isn't this these are, for some reason my brain is gapping this. I believe these are connected to the book of Revelations, these characters in the four corners of the, it's in my book, wherever that is over there. I know this, but
she wrote a book about that.
No, not about that, but with this in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my brain is just blocking it at the very moment. But basically, we are at a crossroads where this information is ready to flip. It's ready to be like up leveled and brought a whole lot more of the rich complexity of it all. But in that process, there will be a lot of distortion going on. So let's just see. Yeah, look at that. Don't rush, as Crystal said.
Yeah.
Don't rush to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to need to suspend our thoughts are going to be potentially used against us.
Yes.
As weapons. So be very wary. And it's interesting, right? You noticed, and it wasn't even, I'm not like upset about the fact that I didn't have an opinion on this. It feels really truthful to me deep in my being. I'm not triggered, but this is so big that I'm not in a rush. I'm okay if it doesn't happen in my lifetime. I'm okay to bring out tons of information, share it with people, but not get attached. Because if we get too like we could get distorted and it could be another 700 years before we figure this out. If we try to go off on a tangent here, I'd like to see this happen within the next 100 to 200 years where we've sorted this out. Now, I know you're all going, oh my God, Ashala, that's too late. No, like Crystal said, it's not too late. I'm going to school you a little bit here. It's not too late because we're not just living for this lifetime, folks. We want to do it right and take the time to care about this and really, divine timing. Thank you. And we are of Christ consciousness. So to be able to really absorb all of this that needs to transform, because Christ consciousness includes divine union. It includes like union of masculine, feminine. It is a love story. It's a story of creation. So we are a ways off. Even all of us, in my estimation, are a ways off from being ready to integrate that in all levels. But let's restore at least some of these old narratives, get discussing them. There's no harm in talking about them and keeping our eyes on the horizon, right? Because a lot will still be revealed. Certainly, I would think in the next 20 years, there's going to be a lot revealed. And I could be wrong about the 200. But let's at least allow ourselves the dignity to slow down with this. Yeah.
It's a beginning. Yeah. For sure. Thank you, everyone, for all of the chats because it really adds. Look at this little.
Oh, we have a little spider.
A spider.
It's
you
so
can't
tiny.
see it. It's so tiny. It's literally like.
Okay, so there we go. It's sort of like that's how much we know right now. Little tiny bit.
Oh my gosh, it's literally like the size of a tick. Okay. So Suzanne, she also said that Agree 100%. Taking in from many sources and putting the puzzle pieces together of what feels right to me. When too much similar stuff is pushed at the same time, I get cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We just
fellow researcher. Because, you know, the goal of this isn't to know all the right answers at the end of this test that we're in here as our life experience. The goal is how we process the information. We do it in a good way. We integrate, we metabolize, and we actually become the information, right? Yeah. It's like if it helps you to step into Christ consciousness and live from that place, then it's good.
Beautiful.
But if it just keeps you up in your head and going, yeah, well, I'll live from there when I figure it all out.
Or like, what am I going to do with this? Oh, do I need to gather more information to feel better about it? And then you gather more information and you're like, oh,
now I'm more
so
confused.
Yeah, like it's like, for sure. And I feel like this a bit right now too. We're going to pull this next question up. But I feel like this a bit right now too. I've gone off of social media. And I just have YouTube right now. And so I'll go on and I'll watch videos on YouTube, but I'm finding it like kind of overwhelming how many videos there are of like, I'm like, I should know this. Oh, I better hurry up and watch that video. And now I need to know this. And it's just like continuously feeling like I'm needing to know all these things. And it's just like, how do I have time to really integrate that knowledge? And how does that affect my immediate reality?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do with that? That's an important piece in this information.
Pause and integrate. Yeah. Pause and integrate. Okay, we've got the question about Jules Verne's stories. Are they based on real Earth history? If yes, how much of them are true? Also related is Gulliver's Travels representing different worlds in our universe. Are we Lilliputians? Okay, so Jules Verne's stories, are they based on real Earth history? And Gulliver's Travels.
Is Gulliver's Travels a Jules Verne story?
I don't think so. I don't know actually.
But you know who Jules Verne is? Okay, cool.
So
this is you.
So, well, just shuffle on your unconscious knowing, because your unconscious knows.
It does. Come on in, unconscious. You're rocking. You're rocking me in it.
So, real Earth history and how much of it is true. Mm-hmm. Okay, and 3 piles. And it's going to be the first one. You felt that too?
Yep.
Okay, well, look at that. 77.7. So not all of it is true. Interesting. I'm trying to remember when these books were written, but it looks almost like it's fascinating to me that things like Lord of the Rings was written just either during the war or just after the war. It's like a lot of times writers go into almost like the collective subconscious and go backtrack to sort of solve what's going on now by telling the story of the past in the present, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to people? So it's like writers will often channel the piece that needs to be thread in to kind of close the gap. And that's interesting. This is the close the gap card. So it's about closing in on truths that were necessary when that book was written. Like it was a and I do believe that as writers, we channel things, especially if we're writing sort of like fiction or historically based fiction or whatever, historically inspired fiction, that there's a lot about going back and retrieving things because you're trying to like make sense of the chaos right now. So that's what I get, that he was in a state of like trying to make sense of what was going on. And so he went back to like retell or just even channel information. So about 70% maybe. And it's also interesting that when people, have you ever noticed when you read something, like you can read something at a certain age and then you read it like 20 years later and you're like, I don't remember any of
Any
this.
of it.
It's like
For sure.
it will hit you. The first wave, it hits on a certain level, but then it does, like good literature will have a second bloom and a third bloom, meaning
Mhm.
and it's interesting because we were talking about that with the Magdalene stories as well. Like there will be a new wave of retelling these stories, and each time they're retold, it's going to bring out another aspect of it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So, in between worlds, are we Lilliputs? It's like, um, I feel like these are old stories, and it's about bringing some of the mysteries to light. But we're going to be retelling them so they're not exactly as they've been told, because the way they were told was what was needed by people then, and now we need a refreshed telling of the story, if that makes sense to people. Um, it's interesting too. This is a lot more our feminine energy. The energy of the mother wants to be woven in
Mhm.
more significantly. The energy of the feminine wants to be woven into these stories. Um, it's almost like there's going to be more background coming out. I wonder if there's even other versions of the books that didn't get published because they weren't kind of cool or trendy for the time, and if we'll see um, other versions of those stories. Right? Look at that. So
Another 7.
but then there's also going to be knockoffs. This feels to me like a lot of knockoffs that are really about actually steering us into sort of whitewashing a lot of stuff as well. So
This was interesting too. Lord of the Rings were based on the central banks and what we now call deep state. Sauron's eye is the telecom spying, aka surveillance networks.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're both going back and forward is what happens.
I wonder if that's why they always remake movies. Journey to the Center of the Earth has been
Exactly.
remade several times.
Exactly. I was thinking that too. And
Yeah.
so, even when we go back and read with fresh eyes, we will hear and see different things.
And then Lilliputans to me are the people against the giant industrial complexes, aka deep state, like David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Good.
So it's kind of like the hobbits, right? It's like this energy of these stories will get retold, and we could relearn them from a new perspective, study them anew.
It feels to me like it's the subtle feminine way of like putting it out into like media and like marketing it in a big way, like getting information seen or getting like sparking people's interest in it in a new way that's done in like a really sort of like feminine, creative, like open, expansive type of right, where it's just like the way that we've had it in the past has been structured in the fact that it was written and it's an old, it's old writing, it's old versions of things, and like Mom said, these stories may hit us even in a different way now, and there may be a resurgence of these stories really being activated and coming to life. Ooh.
Yeah.
Was Jules Verne perhaps their pseudonym for woman? Let's ask that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Suzanne, you might be right on that.
Mhm.
Isn't that great? We just solved a mystery.
And revisiting C.S. Lewis and the Narnia books now, so many hidden truths in those books.
He
hobnobbed
hobnobbed
with
with
your
your
token.
token. Yeah. So, and we're really, in a way, we are like looking at schools of mystics. Like these
Yes.
writers are doing an amazing job of, this theme has kind of brought us all the way through today. Even with the Magdalene stories and everything, there is something about renewing, and I really want to leave us off with this concept that not all, it's just like, when you hear a band remake a song, or what do they call that? It's not remake, what do they call it?
Remaster?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, when you hear that done,
digitally remastering.
yeah,
Or is that too old school of a term?
when you hear that done, sometimes you're just like, oh man, they just butchered it. You're plugging your ears. And other times you're like, wow, remix, that's it. Other times you're just like, wow, that is like, they improved on that song. It's the same with all of these stories, these ancient stories, these channeled stories, this literature. There will be versions that butcher it, and some of them even intentionally to sort of dumb us down, to just go with the lowest common denominator. I've seen a lot of books that were turned into movies, and I'm like, oh, they just Hollywoodized it to the just ruined the actual real meanings and the real, deeper story. The deeper narrative was just lost with violence and the usual
they did that
Hollywood
to Shantaram, you guys. I
formula.
loved Shantaram. It was so poetic and beautiful, and they made a series from it, and it was just violent. They took out all of the poetic beauty, and it was just gangsters and fighting. Terrible. I was like, I'm so mad.
Yeah. So it's the same with literature. Books will be written that just sort of turn this into something that fits into the military industrial complex, like, whoosh, into the transhuman agenda. Here we go. Like they're just going to make it into something. So not all remakes are equal. And that, I think, is to consider when we go forward with all of these different story narratives that are going to be hitting the airwaves. Because like Crystal said, this is the way that people want to receive information now. They're tired of just being talked at with facts. And it's great for us writers and fiction writers. It's like, warm up your pen. Here we go. But we're going to see a lot of really intentionally dumbed down versions of things. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah.
So I think we're wrapping up now. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. And thank you so much to everyone that says, great job, ladies, great show. You all make it with us.
Oh my gracious, your questions are top notch. Like, I feel so honored and delighted to meet with you all here on Tuesdays, and look forward to continuing in the future. So when you see us next Tuesday, we'll be just coming off. We're getting home really late Monday night. We're taking the last ferry back to the island, so we might be a little bit sleepy-eyed, but we'll be delighted to come and maybe regale you with some lovely stories. So looking forward to it.
Thank you everyone for being here. Have a blessed week. See you next time.
Bye for now.